Hi, after watching the video, click the link in the description to download the program.
You're about to learn of a breakthrough discovery from MIT that can cut your power bills by 65% starting today, while keeping the power on at all times, no matter what kills the grid. And how getting burglarized during a blackout drove a simple carpenter from Orlando to improve these amazing designs and make them work, getting as much electricity as he wanted with just 10 square feet of solar panels in his own backyard. Sounds unbelievable? Well, MIT doesn't think so, because you'll learn the exact secret on how to arrange solar panels so that they'll deliver 10 times the output of a traditional system, taking up just 5% of the space for just a fraction of the costs. My name is Zack Bennett, and this is my story. A story about a dreadful October night that almost cost me and my family our lives. I woke up in a cold sweat, reaching furiously for the bed lamp in the dark, trying to make sense of what was happening. The power was out. Everything was pitch black. Honey, wake up. Shh, be quiet. There's someone in the house. Don't scream and don't wake Julie. The heavy rain outside was battering the bedroom windows, almost covering that horrific, violating sound of our furniture being smashed downstairs. We were being robbed, and it was my fault. I felt it in the back of my head that this might happen. A gut feeling ever since Julie was born. Be prepared, Zack. Be prepared. And I did nothing. I thought it couldn't happen to me, not in our neighborhood. It's the stuff I'd expect to see in movies, not in my own house. Now my whole family was in danger because I thought the system, the grid, and the government would be there to protect me. I'd never experienced power outages or home invasions, but all that was about to change. My life-changing story happened 2 years ago, and it's a story that changed not only our lives, but also that of 9,243 hardworking Americans, all previously exposed to the unreliability of our government's disaster response time and the ever-aging and ever-failing power grid. That's over 4,000 families that are now safe, living a better life with a lot more money in their pockets, saving their hard-earned cash each and every day, week after week, month after month, and year after year. Good people like Robert from Cleveland, who writes, "Zack, your presentation saved my life. I can't believe how easy this is. I've shown it to all my friends and they were blown away. Thank you for sharing this." And Christian from San Diego, who says, "I saved $292 in the first 3 months alone, and it's all thanks to you. I still can't get over how simple following the plan you shared in your presentation really was. It was life-changing. My monthly bills haven't been over $53 in months. I have my life back, and it's all because of you." And Ryan of New Orleans, who says, "After watching your presentation and seeing the science you presented, I was mad. I couldn't believe I'd been lied to for so many years, when the secret to saving all that money had been sitting in front of me. But I will say this, the anger turned to pure joy as I started getting those light bills in the mail. Who could be angry about that?" So let me ask you this. What would you do right now with $975? Would you go on a beautiful and well-deserved vacation? Would you take your loved ones for an unforgettable night out? You could even let it sit in the bank and cash in the interest for darker days. Well, it's totally up to you. And why $975? Because that's how much you could be saving in your first year alone on your power bills. Because that exact number is what our beloved government and big energy monopolists will rip you off for in 2019. How are they doing it? Actually, that's the easy part. Myths and legends. All that the media is raving about are the mind-blowing extreme price tags and the unreliability of alternative power sources. And that, my friend, is a big fat lie, conceived by the greedy executives to keep us trapped, filling their dirty pockets with our blood, sweat, and tears each and every month. But not anymore, because it's time you learned the truth. Renewable energy is not expensive. Done the right way, you'll have it up and running for mere pennies, never at the 20,000 price tags you hear about on TV. And you can see the savings piling up overnight. You might be going all the way up to 65% off your power bill from the very first month. And I know you'll probably say, yeah, I heard that before, and your BS senses are going off. But what I'm talking about, it's not a hushed-up secret or a breakthrough conspiracy cloaked device made by some silenced anonymous brilliant mind. It's actually something simple that thousands of people use, but in an inefficient and expensive way. So stick with me for the next few minutes and you'll find out everything you need to know on how to do it right, keeping that hard-earned cash in your pocket starting today. As I said, my name is Zack Bennett. I'm a 42-year-old carpenter from Orlando, happily married for 14 years, raising a beautiful little girl. In the fall of 2016, we decided to go on a well-deserved and long-awaited vacation. We were ecstatic, our first vacation in 4 years. We packed our bags and rushed to the airport, hoping our flight would make it before the storm hit. But Lady Luck wasn't on our side that day. Our flight got canceled at the very last minute, and we had to return home. We noticed that the whole neighborhood had gone dark. The power was out from the storm. So I lit up some candles and took Julie to bed. Reading my daughter a good story at candlelight felt peaceful. I thought to myself, what's the worst that could happen? Not knowing that night would change our lives forever. At 3:45 a.m., I woke up with a shiver down my spine. Someone had broken in and was ravaging the living room. My first thought was going down and confronting him, but my wife stopped me. What if he has a gun? Think about Julie. I was scared and angry. I got out of the bed slowly and barricaded the bedroom door. Then the racket suddenly stopped. We could hear footsteps, that someone was coming upstairs. With each squeak of the old wooden floor, I felt ever more powerless, afraid for my family's life. Our hearts were pounding out of our chests. We tried calling 911, but there was no reception. The storm had taken down the whole grid. Right then and there, I swore to myself that if by the help of God we were to make it through the night, I would make sure we'd never find ourselves in that position ever again. And God answered our prayers. Our 2-year-old daughter Julie woke up and started crying. The thief heard her and ran. He probably thought no one was home, vetting us while we left for the airport. Our beloved little girl saved our lives. I will never forget that feeling, happiness and relief mixed with mad anger. And I wasn't angry at the thief that broke into our home. I was angry at the power grid for being unreliable. And most of all, I was angry at myself for being unprepared. A simple porch light could have kept that criminal away. One single light bulb could have made the difference between life and death that night. So even though I was still shaken up, the very next day I started searching frantically for the best way to have just that. My lights on at any time, no matter what brought the already crippled grid to its knees. And every question I was asking my wild search led me to one single answer. Solar. But how? How could I go solar when all I had was spare change? And how could I even think of doing that in my 500 square foot backyard? Of course, if you have $20,000 lying around, it's easy peasy. Hire a private contractor and burn the $20,000 in one single wire transfer. Heck, you could just send it directly to your power company as a down payment for a few years' worth of power bills. It would just end up in their pockets anyway. They're the ones controlling the business after all. Everybody can go solar at that price. But is it really worth it? How long does a single charge last? Not to mention maintenance, snow, and all the space they take. Or even worse, putting your health and safety at risk by hanging them on the house and climbing up there to clean them. It's a nightmare when winter comes, high winds, or when a sudden hailstorm hits. I couldn't have that. I had to find a way around it. So I went off the radar while doing my research, trying to think outside the box. I spent every penny I had on tests and dug deep into the darkness of even the 50th page of my search engine. All that learning about solar energy got me really excited, but also a little frustrated. It seemed that all the stuff I could find on the internet was either confusing or downright worthless. The books I read lacked essential details or were too academic and complex, and the people I talked to were just weekend enthusiasts who couldn't help me with my goal. After 2 months, I managed to get the price down, a lot, but still, the sheer surface of a reliable system was just too much for my tiny backyard. Then I found it, an MIT study from back in 2012. It was brilliant, a weird-looking small-scale 3D solar array that they've tested with amazing results. Instead of going for the usual side-by-side layout, this system was going upwards, stacking the panels one on top of the other. But how could the sun waves reach the second or even the third layer of cells? It was easy. Put them in zigzag and you still get 100% sun exposure on just 2% of the traditional system surface. The trick was in the angle. But even though it was innovative, it was still a tabletop gadget, with no real everyday purpose. It had to be full scale to actually make a difference. So I thought to myself, Zack, you're a carpenter. You build things for a living. You can do this. It took me almost a year to get my design ready, but eventually I found an unbelievably easy way to do it that cost 4 times less than what I was hoping for. And I'd finally done it. I had the perfect layout even for my lousy 500 square feet. Actually, I got it working on just 10 square feet, safely on the ground. And best of all, it's not set in place. If I need some extra space or I need to move the system to make room for something else, I just pick the rack up and place it wherever I want. And I don't have to ask for help. It's a one-man job. No worries, no maintenance, no headaches, and actually, no real work. So why should you fatten the greedy bastards up with $20,000 when you can get the same results for only a fraction of that tag? A 1% fraction to be more specific. That's right, you can stick it to them easy for a mere $200 and on a measly 10 square feet. My first unit cost me a little over $200, $207.12 to be more precise, and results came pounding hard the very next day. The meter was barely moving, and it reflected directly into the bill, 51% off in the first month. I think I did pretty good, and the cost of $200, that's money well spent. I got it back in 3 months just by cutting off the bill. But it's better if you see it for yourself. That happened 2 years ago, and since then I like to think I did more than save on my bills. I started something. Some might call it a movement, cutting the heavy chains that were crippling us month after month. But I like to call it a revolution. Because after I'd slashed my power bills by 60% and secured all the backup power I needed for the next time the grid decided to take a dive, others wanted in. My closest friends wanted to know my backyard revolution secrets that were saving me so much cash, while giving me the peace of mind and comfort of knowing I'll never be robbed again, never be in the dark again, and never be scared for my family's life, no matter what the future holds. And the results just kept coming. I was able to walk them through the simple process of building their own foolproof power source and get ridiculously cheap energy, protected from any kind of intrusion, and from ever being gouged by the electric cartel again. Everyone kept telling me to share my system with the world, but I wasn't crazy about the idea. I didn't like the attention it brought on me. But I soon realized that my small soreness was nothing compared to the avalanche of comfort that takes over people when they realize they don't have to keep getting mauled by the greedy executives. So after almost a year of scrupulous testing to make sure anyone can use it, translating everything into plain simple English for a quick and easy read, and putting every single step on a clean-cut video that walks you through the entire process, the backyard revolution was born. Imagine $200 for a system, for a worry-free life and a full bank account of savings. It's probably the simplest, easiest to use A to Z blueprint that anyone can follow to make their own cheap green electricity. No matter if you have no money to spend on a ridiculous off-the-shelf $20,000 system, no matter if you don't have the time or patience to go through trials and errors, no matter if you've never built anything before, not even an IKEA chair. Look, when I finished my research on solar energy, I knew that I had found a gold mine. The benefits are nothing short of amazing. You won't need the grid. In a survival scenario, when the power is down or a nationwide blackout sends us back into the Stone Age, rendering 21st century technology obsolete, you'll be safe and sound in your own cozy home, still enjoying a good movie with your loved ones, cuddled up on the couch eating popcorn like it's a Friday night. You won't need the space. The backyard revolution system needs only 5% of the surface used in conventional solar panel systems, all because its ingenious vertical design. A lot of my friends have actually placed it on balconies, so you don't even need a backyard. Using less space means that it's easier to protect from looters, and also easier to keep it a secret from a nosy neighbor. Plus, there's no maintenance required. Just put the system in a sunny spot for a few hours a day for a full battery charge, or you can just leave it in one place, forgetting about it for a whole year. Probably the only time you'll think about it will be once a month, when the mailman swings by to give you an even lighter electricity bill, filled with best wishes from your power company. And the easy-to-use, no-maintenance Backyard Revolution system can provide you with another huge advantage. It gives you crucial time to do more important things in a crisis. While others will be busy dumpster diving for food, your miniature power plant takes care of itself. You'll have more time to protect your family, to learn a valuable skill you can barter with, or to be the Rick Grimes of your community. More and more people are discovering the joyfulness and peace that comes with off-grid electricity. Here's what my good friend Andy had to say about it. Hearing that I could cut 50% off my monthly bill in less than a couple of weeks flew in the face of everything I've been told. I've been a skeptic my entire life, but my wife pushed me to give your system a try. I can't believe the results. Within the first 2 weeks, my readings had gone from an average of 290 kilowatts to 85, and I was actually burning more power on heating after the first snowfall. Thank you so much for sharing this with me. I think every single American needs to know about this. And Luann from Dallas said, I now feel some sort of inner peace that I never had before. We know we'll have our lights on no matter what happens, and before Backyard Revolution, it just wasn't the case. And now you too can join in on this life-saving system. So here's my promise. If you can push play and watch a short video once, you have all you need to make your own personal power plant and have a perpetual source of cheap green electricity for anything heading our way. If spending tens of thousands of dollars on a standard solar panel system is not your idea of saving money and being prepared, if you want to be energy independent and to have the fridge, the oven, and the AC on for just a fraction of your usual monthly spend, and if you've ever wanted a fun, simple way to build a virtually unlimited long-term power backup, almost on autopilot, then this is it. A disaster-proof, recession-proof, drought-proof backyard power plant that will give you all the money-saving comfort you and your family need and deserve. It's a step-by-step, newbie-friendly program that will take you by the hand and turn the lights on in as little as 4 hours from now, so you can slash your power bill almost immediately without investing thousands of dollars in overpriced monopoly-controlled systems. But most of all, it will give you the peace of mind that comes from knowing that, should anything happen, from a mere broken power line to a national blackout or worse, your family won't be at the mercy of others. The Backyard Revolution program is jam-packed with all the knowledge you need to have super success with solar energy, not in years of trial and error, but in as little as a day. It took me almost 2 years to refine my method. Sweat and literally tears to see it finally work. But in the program, I'm giving you my foolproof shortcut so you don't have to make the same rookie mistakes all over again. Going solar can be super easy and almost hands-free, but only when you have the whole recipe and not just bits and pieces. And unlike emergency power banks, you won't have to wait for a crisis in order to enjoy your savings. Since I took up solar, I slashed my power bill by more than $120 a month. Some people actually don't pay a dime on electricity anymore. That's thousands of dollars in yearly savings that you can enjoy starting today. You'll discover the 3 essential tweaks you can make in under 20 minutes that will maximize your power output by almost 200%. And a popular one on how to get the same results even if you don't have a backyard to begin with. You'll get simple step-by-step blueprints, but the best part is the video section of the training, because you'll see every little detail, every single step on your screen, and you can replay it as many times as you want. But you won't have to. This is so easy, I guarantee that all you have to do is watch the video once, and you'll know how to make your Backyard Revolution system. No fancy jargon, no academic lingo, no technical mumbo-jumbo that will take an engineering degree to understand. One frequent comment that I'm getting is, Zach, this sounds too good to be true. Will I be able to build this even if I'm 70 and not very handy with tools? The answer is, making a Backyard Revolution system is simple, quick, and easy. Sure, there's some cutting to do, and you might want to have someone help you in testing for the perfect tilt and angle. When I shot the video, I got lazy and paid someone $40 to give me a hand. Fact is, you don't have to build this yourself if you don't want to. But if you choose to do it, it will be the most exciting 2 hours you've had in years. Your kids are going to love helping you build it and might even get an A+ for a small-scale version you'll help them build for science class. Backyard Revolution is the solution if you want to be energy self-sufficient. It's an A to Z, step-by-step, take-you-by-the-hand blueprint and video guide for having your own personal power plant up and running by the end of the day. But even though I've tried to make the program as complete as possible, I know that there will always be more questions. That's why with the program, you also get 12 months of unlimited email access, where you get to ask me just about everything related to Backyard Revolution. That's 1 full year when you get to ask us as many questions as you want. Oh, and there's more. If you order the Backyard Revolution program today, you'll also get a few exclusive bonuses that will later be off the table if you put this off. First, you will get the Homestead EMP Protection Protocol. It's a special report that puts Backyard Revolution on overdrive and turns it into a foolproof, disaster-proof, and EMP-proof off-grid power source for any impending emergency. It's more than a power plant. With this special protection system, your family will have electricity even if, God forbid, an all-out EMP or natural disaster takes out the grid for months on end. So you'll never be in the dark in a crisis situation. Second, you will get energy stockpiling secrets. This radical report will help you store the excess power that Backyard Revolution system will be putting out. So none of that valuable power juice goes to waste. You will find out what are the best methods to do so and what types of batteries to use, how to revive old ones, and how to make ones from scraps laying around your house or in some cases forgotten in your garage. And third, you will get Homestead Alternative Energy Sources. This special report lists the absolute essentials that many so-called energy enthusiasts never even consider, and you'll get it for free when you test the Backyard Revolution Guide.
Click the link in the description to download the program.